CCN News, I'm your host, Captivating Christian, and here are some of your top stories for today, February 12th. Sanders wins the New Hampshire Democratic primary over Buttigieg, and we will also be talking about some of the fallout candidates of the 2020 presidential election after this New Hampshire primary. The gloves are off. Trump pushes revenge operation. New data suggests Florida cops broad power to take away people's Second Amendment rights. Man charged in sex-trafficking students after moving into daughter's dormitory and targeting her friends. Wife murdered by husband's mistress forgave her moments before killing. And church volunteer allegedly steals more than $500,000, making thousands of online purchases. Let's get to the news. Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of the New Hampshire Democratic primary with 26% of the vote and only 94% of the precincts reporting. Buttigieg coming in at a second, the former South Bend, Indiana mayor, Pete Buttigieg, who rose to prominence battling Bernie Sanders in a virtual tie in Iowa, has come up short to knock Bernie Sanders off of his course. Amy Klobuchar actually outpaced Elizabeth Warren in New Hampshire last night by capturing 19.7% of the vote, while Warren had 9.3%. Joe Biden, the former vice president, will likely end up in 4th or 5th place when the final results are cast. He wound up leaving New Hampshire early to head down to South Carolina, where he is projected to have a majority lead with the black vote or African American vote. So we'll see how that turns out. As far as the fallout from the New Hampshire primaries, 2 candidates have dropped out of the race. Colorado Senator Mike Bennett has ended his 2020 presidential bid for the White House. Also, New York businessman Andrew Yang has also ended his campaign. Andrew Yang has rose to prominence with his plan to give Americans $1,000 a month. He has since dropped out of the race due to low turnout in New Hampshire. Okay, this is getting better and better. So here, why do you need to watch a show full of drama when you can watch it in real life? As the White House turns, since his acquittal from the Senate impeachment trial, President Donald Trump has privately been encouraging his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, to keep investigating the Biden family and Ukraine, and to keep him and his administration, including the Justice Department, who by definition is supposed to be independently run, abreast of his findings, according to 2 people familiar with the discussion. They tried to reach Giuliani for comment, and he did not. However, on Tuesday, the Justice Department headquarters overruled prosecutors' recommendation that former Trump advisor Roger Stone serve a 7 to 9 year prison sentence for lying to Congress and witness tampering. Shortly after the news broke, all 4 prosecutors involved in the case withdrew from their work there, and 1 left the Justice Department altogether. A senior Justice Department official said that it was not an easy day, but an early morning Trump tweeted, which called the initial recommendation a miscarriage of justice, had nothing to do with the department's move to override the prosecutors. Following Trump's acquittal last week, Giuliani and his allies continued ramping up their probe into Hunter and Joe Biden and Ukraine matters. On Sunday, Lindsey Graham, the Republican out of South Carolina, told CBS, the Department of Justice had established an intake process whereby Giuliani could pass off information gathered from Ukraine to prosecutors. New reports out of Florida concerning the red flag law claims that Broward County experience with gun confiscation orders confirm that they prevent suicides and homicides while guaranteeing due process for people accused of posing a threat to themselves or others. But the analysis by the Guilford Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, otherwise known as the GLC, based on 255 police petitions filed in the year ending March 9th, 2019, actually reinforces the civil liberties concerned raised by red flag laws. In particular, it shows that a judge or judges who are supposed to decide whether someone poses enough of a threat to justify suspending his Second Amendment rights almost always defers to the conclusion reached by the law enforcement agents. Florida, like other states who have the red flag law, allow police to obtain temporary ex parte orders forbidding people to possess firearms. When police file such petitions, the respondent has no advance notice and no opportunity to rebut the allegations against him. The orders, which last up to 14 days, are supposed to be based on reasonable cause to believe that the respondent poses a significant danger of personal injury to himself or others in the near future, and in the cases covered by the GLC report. Police always sought ex parte orders, judges always guaranteed them, and they did so very quickly, sometimes within hours. And in other news, a father who has allegedly turned his daughter's university dormitory into a cult has been charged with extorting the students out of $1 million and forcing one of them into sex work. Prosecutors say that Lawrence Ray, 60 years old, used physical and psychological threats to cohort and indoctrinate and exploit a group of students at the Sarah Lawrence College in New York City. The ex-convict moved into his daughter's dormitory at the prestigious liberal arts college shortly after leaving prison and is alleged to have convinced her friends that they were indebted to him and subject them to hours of grueling interrogations and deprive them of food and sleep. Ray was arrested on Tuesday following an investigation prompted by an article published last year in the New York Magazine under the headlines The Stolen Kids of Sarah Lawrence. Now, I personally think that's crazy. First of all, you had to know that it was a school full of rich kids, because there's no way the kids would have $1 million to give to a man. And furthermore, no man is going to be able to be in a dormitory that long without an RA or somebody noticing. So clearly we know that it wasn't none of us. Anyway, moving right along. Michael Walker, 40 years old, a former Army medic who was stationed in Hawaii, was sentenced to 35 years behind bars on Monday for plotting the November 2014 stabbing of his wife Kathleen at their home in Honolulu. Michael's lover, Alisa Jackson, who committed the killing, was given 30 years in prison. Jackson avoided the mandatory life sentence by helping prosecutors win the indictment against Michael, which involved explaining the coded messages she exchanged with her lover before the killing. The Assistant U.S. Attorney Tom Bradley said on Monday. Kathleen's family also supported the shorter sentence for Jackson. A woman who worked as the financial secretary for her church has been charged with embezzling more than $500,000 from it to pay for thousands of online purchases, car loans, satellite television, cell phone bills, and even her own wedding. Burlington County Prosecutor Scott Coffender in New Jersey and Florence Township Police Department in charge of the Jonathan Greenberg announced that Tasha D. Joseph, 43, of Williamsboro, New Jersey, was charged with embezzling a total of $561,777 from the St. Paul's Baptist Church, where she volunteered as the financial director. The investigation began after officials from the St. Paul's Baptist Church, who suspected the thief, contracted the BCBO, which is the Burlington County Prosecutor's Office, Financial Crimes Unit. The BCPO, said in a statement that the investigation revealed that over a period of 5 years, ending in March 2019, that Smith DeJoseph was responsible for overseeing the church's finances, opened an electronic bank account for St. Paul, and used the funds for personal purposes. Churches are making entirely too much money tax-free, point blank and period, and not doing nothing with it that uplifts the poor, in my opinion. But you can leave your comments below. And once again, thank you for watching CCN News. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and as always, be the change you want to see. If you want change, the change starts with you. As always, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave comments below. I would like to hear what you think about these stories and more. All right, have a good day. Peace.